Episode 100. I'm George.
I'm Ricky.
I'm DB.
Let's
Fucking
Go! I don't know what you're saying to me.
All right, let me start this one off. So I read another book today. Just kidding. I actually did. I was actually wanting to start this off. I read a sick book the other day.
The book club.
The Pals Book Club. You guys ready to listen to me talk for an hour and a half about books?
It's cold in here.
It is cold, eh?
Did you not do your solo episode?
I did, but I didn't like it, so I deleted it. I literally sat here. So I recorded it. It was about reading books and stuff. And I had the notes in my hand, and I actually was really enjoying it. I was like talking. Just like, it was like really fun, just talking to like by myself to the mic. I was like, this is cool. And I was articulating myself well. But then I started to notice I was really rambling on, even though I had notes, and I was really going like all over the map. And it was like 30 minutes, and I hadn't even got halfway through. So I was like, let's cut this. So I went, stopped it, deleted it. And yeah, that's my diary.
Threw it in the junk where it belongs.
You've been on this podcast like four times. You would think you'd know how to put the mic closer.
Yeah,
right?
and talk a little louder.
It's right in my face.
You are a founder of a tech company now. Be no coming in here hungover and
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
from coming on this podcast hungover talking about sports to returning once again. Wait, when's the second time you came on?
The virtual one. It was like on Skype. It was terrible.
Oh, that was a bad one.
That was a bad one.
I
We're
don't
gonna throw
remember.
that one in the dumpster.
People
And
are
then
like,
he made an appearance
they'll
the
be
third
like,
time.
wow, and fast forward 6 months, and now this guy's a co-founder. What the hell happened?
Do you remember?
We're living in a time warp.
The was it Christmas special or Adonis?
Yeah, Adonis.
Oh yeah,
He came
I
on
was
again for that
wasted
one.
on that one too.
you've actually been on 4 times that
Yeah.
game.
I'm always
Oh, yeah,
wasted.
yeah.
This is the first one I'm actually sober, but I'm very tired though. Very tired.
Always coming, never coming prepared, eh?
No.
Guy can't bring his A game. Jeez.
Boys, we look good at least. Look at us matching.
Yeah.
Everyone go on YouTube, check us out.
Got
The Boys in
merch.
Purple.
The
I have not
merch.
changed out of the sweater, and actually, I have 2 of them, so I have not changed out of them in a while.
Yeah, I got mine. Mine has a little oil stain on it, but
You know a trick to get
Disgusting.
that out? Did I tell you? Dove dish soap. Put water on it. Put a little bit of dish soap.
Oh,
throw it in the
no.
wash. It comes
Or
off.
just wash it. in
Elaine got it
general.
out.
No, but she, yeah.
My man doesn't wash his clothes.
Shout out Elaine.
shout out Elaine every time.
Shout out to Anastasia. Shout out to the moms. And shout
To
out
Mary.
Mary.
Shout out Mary.
Hey, shout out the moms on cast killing it out there.
She's causing a ruckus on cast.
Yeah. I see Mary's comments. I saw her comment on my Air Canada, or wait, was it my Air Canada post? Yeah, I talked about the refunds. She came in with a hot tip.
Yeah. Yeah, she was pissed.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to go to Chicago for Meals 30th last year. And then obviously COVID happened and it got canceled. And she couldn't, she kept trying to get a refund from Air Canada and she couldn't. And she's like, honestly, she's insane when it comes to like customer service. Like she'll ream people out. Like she has
Really?
she's
I feel like your mom's so soft though.
She looks like she is. Like she's tiny. She's like a small little woman. That's where I get my stature from. But I also get my bark from her too. Like her temper. Oh my goodness. She goes off on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's just reaming people out on Air Canada until she didn't get what she wanted. And then finally she went to her credit card company, got it charged back. And then she dropped it. But
She was good.
she's still
I did the same
cheese.
thing.
She's still well cheese.
Man, actually, regarding that, I haven't followed the whole story with like these airlines, but it's crazy. Like I saw that something like all the airlines are asking for government bailouts and they're not getting them until they give refunds. But now the government is telling airlines they can't fly to these warm destinations. I don't know the whole story of who's in the right, who's in the wrong, but that's so crazy to me that there's even like, it's like this stalemate, right? Like you're telling somebody you won't bail them out unless they give refunds, but you're also telling them they can't fly and make money because of the dangers. So it's like, I don't know who's right or who's wrong here because they should give refunds, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, how can you tell can government tell a business you can't? I don't know. I don't get it. Like you can fly anywhere but these places, and that's pretty much where people are going
It's
now.
a
Like,
goddamn Mexican standoff in Canada.
Well, because then you see
That's a
that
good analogy.
You see
That's a
that
good
Air
point.
Canada's trying to buy Air Transit.
that happened over a year ago, but the deal was just to go through.
Yeah, it was supposed
through
to
a
go through
review, or whatever.
Yeah, but it's just like not being done right now because of I think all these issues.
No, it hasn't been done, and there's also somebody. So there's a very wealthy Canadian. I think he's from Quebec. I don't know the name. misrepresent this, but he is claiming that I think he's a media mogul. But anyways, he's claiming that the deal should not be allowed to go through because it'll create too much of a monopoly. He actually has now come forward and offered more money to buy them to ensure that Air Canada can't buy them.
Yeah, if Air Canada buys them, it's a complete monopoly, and then we're all paying out of our asses to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm a Air Canada shareholder, so.
Did you end up buying it at 22, eh?
I bought it, around 20.
I fucking hate
It's going up right now.
I think it's a safe buy.
It's going up.
I like Air Canada in terms of like as an airline. Like that's why I mostly like fly with. But the airline industry in Canada, sorry, like any flight attendants and pilots, not you guys. Like the service is great.
It's definitely you flight attendants.
No, but man, it's like a monopoly. It's crazy. Like in the States, you can fly like if you want to get like from LA to like Vegas, let's say, you can $40 on Spirit Air. Throw a backpack on and get on the plane.
We have what, Swoop?
I think they're going bankrupt. I don't know. We don't have Jordan to check right now.
Idea. Yeah, we need a fact checker. I used to be the fact checker one
I know.
time.
It's just crazy that like that. I don't know. The airline industry. It costs more to fly from here to Vancouver sometimes than it would for like to fly from New York to like London, or New York to like Europe or something. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, that's why I haven't been out to the West Coast in forever, because I can fly down to Florida for $300 round trip direct, or I can go to Vancouver for $6. Well, why would I go to the West Coast? I can go to a nice sunny beach, relax. The dollars wasn't even right now. It's $1.26, I think, which is super. It's one of the lowest it's been in a while. Or you go to Vancouver again.
Damn, that's bad. I gotta convert some money. Shit. I gotta convert American back to Canadian.
Oh yeah, just hang on to it.
Gotta put some investments in the cash, brother. I really botched this one.
Buy Tesla and then wait a week or so. It dropped. I think it's 780 right now, or 770.
I ain't taking stock tips from you, brother.
My Bitcoin made some money.
Bitcoin.
That's crazy.
The crypto world.
We're going to the moon together.
I don't trust that stuff, man.
Neither do I.
Something shady about it.
Every time it goes up, Elon Musk dumps $1.5 billion. Okay, take out $500. Thank you.
Someone bought a shit ton of that.
Crypto?
1.5 billion or something.
Yeah.
PayPal bought, then Tesla bought. And
Tesla was the recent big one. 1.5 billion.
PayPal was the first one that did it recently. They bought like 500 million worth. And I was actually talking, I think, to Mike about this. Shout out to Dirks. But I was talking about it.
Does
and I was
he even
like,
listen?
Probably not, but whatever.
Probably not.
I was saying that, I just kept thinking, I don't follow Bitcoin, but I was like, for people to really adopt it, like some platform has to buy to legitimize it. Like, there's Coinbase and all these things that you can trade on. You can buy and sell Bitcoin, but I was like, something institutional or like tech related has to buy it.
You need an actual use for the thing, because right now it's just all speculative, right? But until actual companies start using it, there's small companies that use it, but a company like Tesla, like, that's a big backing.
Well, the first Tesla was bought using Bitcoin a couple days ago.
Yeah, but that's a risky thing though, because the money fluctuates, right?
Oh my God!
So that it could end up costing you more than what you paid for it. So why would you unless you have an astronomical amount of money that you don't care, like, okay, you pay for it today. So if it's $50,000 for one Bitcoin, you would guess around the same price for one Tesla. One Tesla, one Bitcoin. What happens when that goes to $100,000? You just paid $100,000 for a Tesla.
Yeah, but what if it goes down to 25?
But do you think it'll but
me personally, I
long
think,
term.
Yeah, long term, but I think this year it'll end around the 50. That was my
you made
guess.
a cast.
Yeah.
Would you
I said around the 50.
You
let's
think
see.
It's just going to hover around 50?
I think it's going to go up to like maybe 60, 65, and then it'll come back down to 50-ish.
What is the logic behind that?
That's just what I think. I just look at the graphs. I look at the graphs, and that's what they look.
There's
and
no logic.
I kind of just drew it out, and that's what it looks like.
This is our numbers guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I recently resigned from my role of numbers guy.
No, you didn't recently resign. We forced you down.
For the record, this isn't going to be on air. I actually had the numbers all right, technically. At the end, the end result. That's all that matters.
Do you know when they ask a question in elementary school? It's like
you have to show your work.
No, I can't do that. I'll show you the end result.
Yeah, that's it.
I knew the end result. Anyways, we're for those listening and made it past this about 9-minute mark of this our opinions on Bitcoin and such. We figured we wanted to have a little chat today about Cast. For those of you who've been using it, shout out to you. We love you all. It's been really exciting. We're about a month in to beta. Actually, what day is it? It's exactly a month. 17th?
Yeah.
We launched. Technically, it's a month and a day because Dave prematurely pushed the launch. But
could never be me.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah, 100%. Just
go ahead and say it, you freak.
That's okay.
Anyways, so we're about a month into Cast closed beta. it's been really exciting, and we figured that this is a very appropriate time for us to kind of just get on here. Obviously, we haven't had Dave on in a while, so and Dave on in a normal state, like regular conversation, not yelling about sports cards or sports trading or
Yeah, that was fun though.
yeah, that was good.
Big time bang.
So yeah, that's the purpose of this podcast. We wanted to shed some light on what we're doing, what's going on behind the scenes, and the ride so far.
Yeah, we've mentioned it a lot throughout the podcast, especially like a lot of ads, social media. We've been all over it. Georgie, LinkedIn. I've been all over Facebook and Instagram, but we haven't fully sat down and talked through it. We obviously have Dave on because he's part of the team, the three of us. I know me and George have mentioned it a lot on the podcast, but we each have a different role. But the three of us together, I guess, are the three founding beauties of the app.
You usually say founders, but yeah, okay, I guess.
Gotta put my own little
Some of us are better looking than others, so I don't know if you can call us beauties plural.
Yeah, I've never been called a beauty. That's
Well,
You're the brains, not the beauty.
Why don't we take the listeners on a journey through how it all started? We've never told the story.
I did all the work. The end. I'm honestly.
I'm riding coattails.
No. I'm honestly kidding.
Well, you know what? Because I kind of talked about it on the podcast I was on a couple weeks ago. It's Always Sunny in the Six. But yeah, let's
kind of like how it started.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if we ever talked about this. All right, let me try to get these thoughts nice and succinct. It's a new word for you.
Nice. Ricky's getting his dictionary.
Yeah. Do you know what succinct means? Okay.
Go on,
So it was a cold day in 2017, and I had an epiphany. That's not really what happened. I had one day, I don't know, a while back, I had this idea. Sorry, let me restart this.
We're gonna cut that part out.
No. Sorry. So one thing that bothered me for a long time is two things. One is people used to make like claims, proclamations, whether it's sportscasters, newscasters, people on social media, whatever it is, and they would make these claims and they wouldn't be held to their word, and they would get swept by the wayside and whatever. And I wanted a way to to start tracking how people, where their opinions came from, what they thought, and all these things, and aggregate them. On top of that, I got really tired of subjective narratives through media, social media, articles, whatever it is. Like a lot of people, media outlets, anything, obviously have biases when they try to find data that fits their narrative, and they promote that. Either that, or they'll put a report out that's saying, the vast number of Canadians think X, and then when you look at the report, it's like 1,000 Canadians were polled, and how the hell is it the vast number of Canadians? So, anyways, these things were long-standing issues, and I gave up watching the news a while ago because I thought there was biases and all this junk, and there was no integrity in journalism. Told this to Rick. He told me to calm down. He goes, "The world's not ending. It'll be okay." And anyway, so
how half our conversations go.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, why do I have to be served this, or why do they use these soundbite clips, and why are people claiming this or claiming that, and they're not being held accountable for what they say, or people are being pushed in a certain direction, So I told this to Rick, and he said, okay, well, there's got to be something here. So I had a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do. I explained it to Rick, and he's like, okay, doesn't seem like you can kind of scale this, so let's talk it out a little bit. So we just kind of went back and forth over a few week period. We came to this idea of almost like a gamification and like crowdsourcing of opinions.
And this is when HQ was also, for anybody who remembers that game, that's when HQ was a massive
it was like
internet success.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, how can we make this? How can we try and start aggregating opinions and see what the public actually thinks? So you're again, assembling like objective demographic data and then kind of serving it up, saying, okay, this person's not this, and you're kind of forecasting, but also kind of seeing what people's opinions are, and you're kind of centralizing it in one place. We had this idea. We kind of did some mock-ups, and it didn't really materialize. And then earlier in 2020, kind of like spring of 2020, started thinking a lot about it again, and it came to the forefront, and started seeing all these narratives being portrayed, and you, like a lot of people do, you would see stuff on the news or read reports, and you would at least we do, we question it. We say, is there validity here, or where is this data coming from? What's the sample size? All of these things. I think it just in general, all three of us are very inquisitive people. We're, what's the word I'm looking for? Not argumentative, like opinionated. Yeah. So the old idea that Ricky and I had kind of came back up, and I was like, okay, there's got to be something we can iterate on here and, like, you know, find a way to start really crowdsourcing data and bring it to a place to let people think for themselves, and serve up objective data to users. So kept thinking about it, iterating it, talking it out, and I started to mock some stuff up and showed Rick what I thought, and that's kind of where we got to that point, and it was kind of fleshed out where we wanted to essentially do a couple things. We wanted to remove the friction of participation, in that we wanted more people participating in the dialogue, in the discourse. We find sites like Twitter, Reddit, people passively scroll. So you might open Twitter to get news, but statistically speaking, I believe it's about 1% of people on Twitter actually create content. The rest are just passively scrolling. So, are you really getting an accurate picture of what people think? Is the trending topics really what the people think? And of those trending topics, it's about the whole overarching theme. What do people lead? Like, which side do they lean on? Are they pro this? Are they against this? Where do they fall? So, okay, there's not much transparency here and objectivity. So how can we solve this issue? So we kept hashing that out and built that into the app. And we wanted to create a place as well that promotes curiosity and discourse. Now, it goes without saying, everyone can kind of see what's happened in recent events with the media and the news and social media. It seems like everyone's so polarized. I'm not politics and COVID stuff and just anything. I mean, never mind polarizing. When you go to even as simple as sports, the debate of Michael Jordan and LeBron James. We've brought that example up before. But sports is super polarizing, right? You have very passionate people. Tribalism takes hold, if you will. And so those are the three things we wanted to kind of solve. And we started to put pen to paper and flesh out how can we create a product that solves these three problems. Removes the friction, allows people to be honest and objective, and promotes curiosity and discourse. And that's kind of where I explained it to Ricky. We hashed that part out, and then we showed it to Dave because we couldn't leave our pal alone out there. And we knew that he has a lot of opinions, which you have probably heard on this podcast before.
Big time.
He doesn't even listen to our podcast.
Big time. I listen to every single episode that I'm on.
So and I'm going to stop here and hand it off over to my co-founders here. But that was the logic behind it all and how we got to the point of where we are, the backstory of it. And we just want a place where you can, you don't have to be scared to ask questions, where you don't have to be scared to share an opinion. Now, not to say we want to create a place where you can attack people, incite violence, abuse others, be a bigot. Like we're not trying to make the Wild West.
Yeah.
We're just trying to create a place where we try to reduce the chance of somebody being misunderstood, misrepresented, try to reduce cancel culture, try to reduce tribalism and piling on and try to improve transparency. So those are some of the things we're trying to tackle.
No, you did a great job.
Thank you.
It was good. Good little kind of backstory.
I'm the words guy.
The wordsmith.
The wordsmith. Is that a word? The wordsmith?
Yeah, the wordsmith.
I don't think I'm a wordsmith. But anyways, that's kind of the backstory.
No, and the big idea behind that is that, especially, at least I found, since the beginning of COVID, a lot more attention is on the news. A lot more people are spending time on their phones at home, researching things, Googling things, Facebooking things, and that is a term now. And
it's a term now, or it's always been a term.
Facebooking?
I don't know.
I know for sure it is now. I think it got added to like
Facebooking,
the Webster's dictionary.
If you're
or something.
Facebooking, you're probably an old person.
I feel like it's been around for a long time.
So,
like tweeting. How would you use Facebook in a verb? Facebooking. It's probably been around for. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, going on Facebook or
It's the action of
Facebooking.
Just like the action of being on casting.
I lost my train of thought now.
About stuff in the news recently.
Yeah, so you see these things, and the Social Dilemma did a good job of actually covering this part, where you only see certain agendas, you only see certain kind of dilemmas, or you only see narratives, and you kind of almost think that whatever you're looking at is an echo chamber. And the problem with that is that the more you see these things, and it can only be the 10% that you're seeing, you're in this tunnel, and you believe that everybody believes that. Well, is that true? Is that really true? And you know what? On our platform, you can see if that's really true or not. You can ask a simple question and get these answers and see the demographics behind them. Because the problem is, and I've said this on recent podcasts too, when you ask a question, if you ask, let's say, people born in pre-1970 or post-2000, you're going to get vastly different answers. But if you tell people just the final result, the final number, well, people are going to think that, oh, the way I think is wrong, or maybe the way I think is right, because you're not getting real data. So that becomes the problem with a lot of these polls that we see online. And I said it on the CP24 one recently about traveling and travel bans and travel restrictions. And I'll use the example again because I think it's a good one. CP24 came out with a poll that said 83% of Canadians.
So they said a vast majority.
Yeah, a vast majority. And then you open the article because obviously it's clickbait, and that's news today, which is terrible, but it is what it is. So you click and it says 83% of Canadians are okay. Support travel bans. Well, okay, you read down, there was, I think, 1,500 people were polled. Okay, so that's a decent number. It's not saying it's a lot, I'm not saying it's a little. But when you look at that, and historically, a lot of these polls that CP24 does online, a lot of them are phone polls. Well, which demographic is most likely to pick up a phone when someone's doing a survey? I would assume it's elderly people.
Boomers.
Yeah, people that are home doing nothing. They are called, do you have 2 minutes to participate? Yeah, I don't know any 20, 30 year olds.
I've never been, for the record, never been called for a survey.
No.
You've never been called?
Never.
Nope.
Have you?
If I have, I'd probably just hung up on them.
Yeah, I say, no, sorry, I'm
mid-sentence.
busy. Yeah, I say, hey,
If I don't know
busy.
who you are, I'm hanging up.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you.
Dave doesn't get a lot of phone calls, so he's not used to answering the phone.
The air duct cleaning guys, or
Oh, fuck that.
or one of you guys, and
the government people, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're in trouble. But back to the point of saying that some older people might give a different answer. Then they might be okay with travel restrictions. I know. Anyways, my dad, for example, is okay with travel restrictions. Whereas I'm completely against it. Holy crap. Sorry. Georgie, first time on the podcast, eh?
See, just as we were talking about calls, he's going to call.
Yeah, it's a survey, people.
Hello, your survey's bullshit.
Yeah, but the idea is that if you can't see who's answering these questions, whether it's the gender, whether it's age, whether it's where you live, you're not necessarily thinking you're getting the real information. And you might just see a number. Yes, 83% of people agree with you, but is that really 83% of the person you are? Is it 83% of males who are in their 30s who live in the city of Toronto? Maybe, but most likely not. So with our app, you're going to be able to see those demographics and see where you land amongst a vast majority of people. Or if you're in a minority, then you'll see where you land on that.
Yeah, and it pushes curiosity. Like, I feel like people should be more curious as to where this news is coming from. Like, especially with all the misinformation that's out there. Like, misinformation is more common than actual information, actual factual information nowadays. So you should be more curious as to where this stuff is coming from, who it is that believes it. Because, like, if I'm seeing a poll that is skewing one way over the other, and I look at the demographics of it in our app, and I say, okay, that makes sense why it is like that. If I'm just on face value, just saying, okay, why is it 86% of these people? Oh, okay, 86% of them are young, and that's why they're voting a certain way.
Yeah, no, and as we were talking about Bitcoin earlier, I actually pulled it up on the app. And it says 48% of people would invest in Bitcoin. And you look at the numbers, as they get older, the number goes down. Younger people are more likely to invest, whereas older people aren't.
Because they don't understand the technology behind it. They don't understand the risk, or they don't want to take the risk. They're not as risk adverse as
they didn't grow up investing with it. They've invested in
it's a
banks.
Thing to them.
Yeah, they've invested in banks,
so
travel companies,
when you look
whatever.
at stuff like that, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you just see 50%, then you say, okay, well,
I don't know if I want to invest in this. Well, if I see that 80% of people my age are, then it's like, okay, well, maybe I should look into
That makes you a little
this.
bit more curious, right?
Yeah.
It makes you want to do some more due diligence, start looking into the technology behind it, who's adopting it, stuff like that.
Educate yourself.
I mean, our app at its most powerful potential is it's so crazy to think about. Because imagine you just put something out there, and within minutes you're getting thousands of replies, and you can see something.
Yeah. I think that's one of the big things, and obviously, that's why we assemble data and aggregate it. And a lot of people say, well, why are you giving away data for free? Why are you giving it for free? That's you can monetize that. It's valuable. To be honest, I personally feel there's the trust between big tech, social media, and users is waning. And just like anything in the world, you got to give a little to get a little. I mean, if we hid this stuff and you voted and you just saw this or that, you saw 40% agree with you. Like, again, we're doing a disservice to the users. Like, it's who are those 40%? Where do they fall on this? What age falls in this category? the point of what we're trying to solve ultimately is, I guess, to encapsulate, is to pique curiosity, but also to improve discourse. And on any social media platform, it seems like shouting matches. You have shouting matches from one side and the other, or in the middle, or my opinion versus opinion, because you can't put a face to the name. You can't really see where you fall in the group. So you have your beliefs, and you're just going to attack this belief. You think it's us versus them, and that's not necessarily how the world works, right? Like you can have consenting opinions, and you can say, oh, I think this or they think that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's trying to understand the other side of things. So if you, like to Dave's point, if you fall in the minority of something, like maybe you believe the world works a certain way, but then you see on cast, shit, there's 10% of people agree with me. That's it. Am I missing something? Or why do I believe this and other people believe that? We're trying to promote open-mindedness, curiosity, which hopefully leads to discourse, because then you have objective facts at hand. So, if you go on a Twitter or Reddit, you can read what somebody posted and you can go and jump down their throat and say, I disagree with this person. This is wrong. What if the overall majority of people agree with that person? Like, what if you raise a question and everyone voted that way? We're laying the facts out in front of you so you can see the facts, see the demographics, and then say, okay, let me see where I stand. Let me formulate my thoughts. Okay, no one agrees with me. Let me go find out why no one agrees with me. And then you get into the comments, say, okay, let's have a conversation here and let's try and unpack this thing and see where we fall. Will we ultimately achieve healthy discourse? That's to be seen. So far, it's actually been pretty positive. People are.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
There hasn't been anybody attacking anyone that I can see so far in any of the comments. And what you said about, why are we giving the demographics away for free? And that's a lot of feedback that we've been getting. I think it's mostly from business-sided individuals who have been on our app and testing, and the value proposition. It's a good point. I mean, it's very, very valuable information. But if we're not showing that, then it's just another shallow result. That it's exactly like the CP24 thing.
Yeah.
So it's 86%. Okay. Now what? Like. Yeah. It doesn't make any. It doesn't change anything, right? So this is something that's changing something.
Game changers.
Yeah, let's hope it's game changing. And you know what? Like the money, I guess, will come. Like that's, I think I speak for all of us when I say we're not all in this for the money. I mean, obviously I joke around a lot and say I'm going to be millionaire from this, be driving Bentley and this and that. But at the end of the day, I think you can create a successful business, make money, but also stay true to yourself, keep your integrity 100%. And not sell out. And, you don't have to monetize every single goddamn thing.
Yeah. No, and staying true to the users.
And right? Exactly.
So at the end of the day,
if you build that trust.
Yeah, you build a good product, you build good trust, you make something that users will like, they will keep coming back.
Not like.
Sorry. You build something they love, they will keep coming back, and the more they keep coming back, they'll keep growing, and then the money will come. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is building something that we love, that our friends love, and then other people will love as well.
So I think we're already successful in that.
Yeah, that was the point of this, right? Like everyone said,
if our goal was only to make something for us and our friends, we've succeeded 100 times over, because
100%.
All of our friends love this thing. It's like we're having so much fun on it.
Shout out to Mila, honestly. Shout out to Mila and shout out to Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck as well. Early adopter Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Can't believe we got him. Crazy.
Honestly, shout out to Mila, because it does mean a lot. Like, obviously she's your sister. She's gonna be on it actually,
but she's not just on it.
You can see
you can tell that she actually enjoys being on it. She enjoys, she enjoys the app. But at the same time, we live together. She sees how hard I'm working, and all these hours I'm putting into it, and all the passion that goes into it. And obviously, she wants to support. But I mean, you can only lead
fake that for so.
Yeah, you can only lead a horse to water. But you can't make him drink, right? And she's been drinking the hell out of this thing.
She posts some funny shit.
And I mean,
I want to jump two things back to your point, guys. Like that was what we said from the beginning. You can't. We want to build a social network, social media platform. That's the ultimate goal. But that comes when you get the network effect. That comes down the road. You can't just build something and say, okay, it's a social media platform. That's what we want it to do. No, we want to build something that our friends love. Like our friends love to debate, love to, we debate. We are very opinionated. We wanted to create somewhere where we can just share that. Number one, that you can be honest and be yourself, not be afraid to ask a question. And there's no social pressures either. And that's one of the other big things to the point of creating this social network is we want to remove the social pressures that exist in a social network. Especially today, one of the biggest things, you see, you see someone you respect, someone you like, a friend of yours raise a point online, do you feel a social pressure to say, oh, I like this or I agree with this? Someone posts a picture on Instagram, oh, I love your dress. Do they always love it? Like, maybe hopefully you have great friends, they support you, but it's almost like a social pressure to follow people, to like posts, to reshare posts, to comment on them, to echo opinions that maybe you don't agree with. If somebody asks a question, you kind of support them, and it's great to support your friends. But are you truly supporting them, or have you been influenced by what they think? So now you think that that's the correct thing to do. So we don't know this. We want to understand this. Are people conforming because of the pressure around these, whether it comes to serious social topics, whether it comes to just being nice to friends? And that's one of the things we want to eliminate, so you can actually have healthy debates, share opinions, and do these things like our friends do. Our friends are not scared of each other's feelings, especially us, all of us,
Oh, yeah.
We all very different opinions. That's a fact. That's one of the reasons I think we're a great, dynamic, diverse team. But that's one of the biggest things too, is creating a place where people like us who are opinionated can have fun, be themselves, and can have healthy debates and share unique perspectives.
Like one funny story that I think about a lot when we're now building this app, and now it's built, is the time at my condo when we were debating the Kelly Clarkson thing.
Goodness.
Like, we spent the whole night over some drinks having
the whole night. This happened.
This has gone for months. This is months.
The main time it happened. The main time it happened.
No,
was that
this
one
was
night.
every time we would go to the bar or we go somewhere. This is
No,
years
just
ago.
Because Vanessa would egg me on. Vanessa, shout out Vanessa too, because she uses the app a lot.
She's on there a lot as
well.
well.
But that's what it is. Like,
tell them, raise it.
It's a hot take.
Oh,
Someone mentioned Kelly Clarkson's name, and I said she's definitely relevant. And it was 2019 or something. 2019, right? She had just come off a tour, a stadium tour in the States, sold out, MSG, Staples Center, a couple other places. So I said she's definitely relevant. She's on The Voice or one of those TV shows. And everyone's like, oh, she hasn't been relevant since she won American Idol. Since she won American Idol.
No, she had that one good song. Since You've Been Gone, that's it.
That's why I said that.
Banger.
That was it.
So
Banger.
everyone's like, yeah, she's not relevant, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, she's got her own daytime TV show, and it's the number one rated TV show. Number two. Sorry, besides Ellen.
Come on now. Let's say
Okay,
wait. But are you talking about The Voice or whatever?
No, she has a daytime
Talk show.
Yeah. You know Ellen?
Yeah,
Do you know who
see?
Ellen is?
Yeah.
She's number 2.
Oh, I know who Ellen is.
Yeah, she's number 2 behind Ellen.
Wow.
She was on The Voice or one of those
The
shows.
judge on The Voice, yeah.
What's The Voice?
I think
right?
so, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but I was gonna say, if you're comparing it to The Voice, there's other people on there, like Usher's on there. Usher's incredible.
Is Usher relevant?
Usher is always relevant. You can't compare the two.
I'm not saying she's as relevant as him, but
You
if
can't compare the
if
two.
you
Hang
can
on,
come
hang on.
off a stadium tour, have your own daytime talk show, be on the biggest, competitive dance or singing contest in the world, maybe not the world, but in North America for sure, I would strongly argue that she is relevant or debate.
Can I add? Yeah. That's it. So see, I want to unpack this right here to explain why Cast exists to solve things like this. Because Ricky laid out his points, but see, even when we were laying the points out, Dave is jumping in to say you can't compare. So you see, even though we've laid this argument out with Dave many a times, you see, he's still trying to jump in and compare. So how many of you out there try to have a conversation with a friend and they clearly don't agree with you, so they keeps cutting you off and don't let you finish your points? See, Cast eliminates all of that. You can't have you're not gonna have a shouting match. You can ask the question: is Kelly Clarkson relevant? Yes or no. Now you're crowdsourcing this and you're asking people. So the thing is, Ricky can't it's also asking people's opinion, right? Ricky can't go and tell his whole story. He can't say she has this, she has that, and he can't lay his thoughts out. He asks the question and lets people think for themselves. So you are truly getting unique and honest opinion inputs. Because they have to go think for themselves, is Kelly Clarkson relevant? Well, how do you define relevant? So then they got to define relevant their own way, and then you really find out if people find her relevant without, the peanut gallery jumping in or scrolling through, let's say, another social app, and you see people kind of debating back and forth. When you ask this on Cast, you cannot see comments or demographics until you share your opinion, which means when you see that question in front of you, you have to formulate your own thoughts and think for yourself. You can't. There's no social pressure to agree with somebody. There's no biases to skew you one way or the other. You have a question. You answer it how you feel, and you see that's what we intend to solve. Because we've been having this debate for how many years now?
We're going on
2 years.
We're going,
and
on
it probably
3.
will still not be put to bed until we have millions on
still
Cast and they
ongoing.
solve it. But That's the beauty of this, and things like this, which I know that people listening right now are like, wow, I've had this issue before. That's what we're trying to solve too.
And the best part is, as George says, you can't see anybody else's answers or comments until you vote. But once you do, no one can.
I want to make that clear. No one can see.
Yeah.
The votes never. The votes are 100%
anonymous.
1,000,000% anonymous. We don't see them. Not the back end. No one can see them.
No one.
But once you do vote, you can see the demographics and you can see the comments. So if someone raises a good point in the comments, which has happened to me, I can go back and change my answer. And some people are like, well, how is this different? Like some question people ask, well, you know, Instagram has polls, Twitter has polls. Okay, well, they don't show the demographics. That's the first part. They're not anonymous answers. That's the second part. Third, you can't change your answers. I can't say how many times I've either accidentally clicked a button on a poll on Instagram or Twitter, or how many times I've misread the question and I voted and I picked the wrong one and I can't change. Or sometimes you see the answer, wait a second, I'm 5%. Shoot, did I really think, like, there's so many times where you want to change your answer and you can't. And I put the poll up on Instagram the other day and I said, how many times have you accidentally picked the wrong answer on an Instagram poll and wanted to change? And I think it was like 85% said they've wanted to change their answer before, or they accidentally clicked. On our app, you can see the comments, see someone else's objective, honest opinion, and go and say, you know what, Dave, or let's say Dave goes, hey, Rick, you know what? After all the points you laid out about Kelly Clarkson, I do believe she's relevant. Let me go and change my answer. And I believe there were a couple people that changed their answers.
But I did not.
But Dave wasn't one of them.
I voted yes, just for the record. I was in Vegas pre-COVID, and she's on like billboards all over Vegas too.
Is she
relevant?
How are you not? How could she not be relevant if we're talking about her? The fact that we alone talk about her means that she's relevant because she's relevant in our sphere.
I'm just not a fan of her at all.
Being a fan and being relevant are two very different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see, that's also the.
Are you a
beauty.
fan of Donald Trump? No. But he's definitely relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. He's
but
relevant.
see, but that's a good point. That's
because
also
you
the.
see him in the news every single day. But if I guess if I was out in Vegas, and I
Or if
saw
you watch
Kelly
The Voice,
Clarkson-
she's
if I
relevant.
watch The Voice. I don't watch The Voice. I don't watch.
See,
that.
Dave,
But see,
yeah,
that's interesting too, right? So you're insulated to this. So you vote no. Or no, sorry. So let's say Ricky, for example, he votes yes because he believes it, obviously. And he lands on there and you see, wow, no 30-year-old male agrees with me. But all the 19-year-old girls agree. Okay, cool. I'm kind of in the minority here.
Sorry, the question was, is she relevant in the States?
Was it?
Yeah, that was the question.
Anyways.
I don't know. I think you're.
No, that was
No,
the original
you're
question.
stretching it
But
here.
Anyways,
that's one, like, I think we've gotten to the point, and honestly, big shout out to our team. Big shout out to Grade and big shout out to Chance, like Sid, Georgia. You guys, like, everybody.
listen?
I don't know, but if you guys do,
Let us know.
let us know.
We got a call in a couple days.
No, honestly, we can't take credit for the work. Like, our team, I can't even explain. They're fucking wizards. Like,
Flying.
sorry for swearing, but they are honestly like,
These guys are flying.
yeah, they're just.
Honestly,
I can't believe what we've done in such a short time.
Yeah.
Like, we came up with an idea. We brought it to the team, and now everyone has contributed to evolve the idea to where it is now. Like, not even close to where it ended up is not where we started. And it happened in like 5 months' time. People have messaged me like, "Wow, you guys actually did this! Like, this is crazy." We're not from a tech background. We have the business and entrepreneurial background, but the tech side is kind of a little foreign to us. Not Dave's at all, but to me and Rick. And it's just been so cool to see the evolution, to see that we actually had this idea of these issues we were trying to these inherent issues we're trying to solve, and we've created a product that we truly believe solves all these issues. Like, it's just been very well thought out. The feedback has been super positive, and even people have come on and said, I don't get it, or I don't agree with this, or I don't care about people's opinions. Sure, not for everybody.
Yep.
But we think there's a lot more people like ourselves that exist that are curious, that want to participate in the conversation, but maybe can't articulate their words very well, or can't write them out very well. They can't think and contribute to a conversation. They don't want. They're kind of embarrassed to say something they might not come out well, might be misconstrued, or they don't want to disagree with their friends online. We're trying to get rid of all of this stuff. We're trying to create a place, like a forum where you can be your unique, honest self. That's it. That's one of the biggest things. Is people every human being is unique, and we should not be embarrassed or scared to be unique. Again, be a good person is the underlying principle of all of it. But yeah, you should, like, there's no such thing as a dumb question. It's the first thing you're taught in school. Mm-hmm. And today it feels like there's such things as dumb questions or wrong questions. That shouldn't exist. Like, you should be curious. Ask any question you want. And people shouldn't misconstrue questions. Like, if you have a malintention, okay, but how can you really determine if someone has malintentions by asking a question online? Anyways, that's my little rant.
Let me ask you guys this: what's been the most fun part of this journey, and what's been the hardest part of this journey?
You're the guest. You take this one, Dave.
I guess.
Start with the most fun.
That's a good one.
Dave's like, this hasn't been fun at all. I hate these guys.
I can't think of the hard.
I think honestly, the answer to both is just working with both you guys.
Aw.
So I mean, like, it's been amazing just working with my two best friends on something that that we're so passionate about collectively. We all believe in, and we all have the same goal and like the same vision as to where we can take this thing. But then at the same time, it's working with your friends. I mean, sometimes I want to strangle you guys.
100%.
And I know that the feeling is mutual because I'm not.
It's not
always the
sunshine
easiest
and
person to work with,
here.
and I mean that's something that comes with the territory. I think we all knew that, and that's why we worked so well together, and we knew that this was going to be very good to work together. Was because we all have differing opinions. If we were all yes men, we all conformed to the same thought, we wouldn't have built something that, it would have just been a marshmallow, like, cookie cutter piece of shit thing.
Yeah.
That,
Said it great.
but
100%.
like, I bring up an idea and someone challenges my idea, and then it makes me think. Then someone else brings up an idea and I challenge their idea, and like, you iterate from that, right? You can't have all the same vision all the time and expect it to be a perfect work of art, right? I think the diversity in our friendship and our group, and where we came from as well. Like you said, you guys come from a different background from you, entrepreneurial God damn it! I'm not gonna try and say that again. But entrepreneurial families.
Yeah.
My family, even though we are pretty well off, 9 to 5 is where my parents come from, right? And like, even though they were very successful and were in their fields, I was never on this business side of things. Like I've worked for the government for like 15 years now.
You're old.
Yeah, I'm very old. I'm so tired too.
We'll cut you off there.
Yeah,
but
one thing.
you said it great.
And the tech background helps a lot in this, and I think I am able to help with translating what the devs are saying into the business, and like that's where my value comes in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's been great. Honestly, I'm having a great time, and the future looks bright, I think.
Yeah. The one thing you said I want to highlight, and you can go, Rick, but just think
I was asking you guys.
The thing about conformity. Hold on a second. Fix this. Is that's one of the biggest things that we instill it in our company, right? Like I had this idea a while ago, but I at no point have I said, like, we don't say ever, oh, I have the idea, we have to do it my way. We layer points out. And yeah, like, there's times where I come in here and I talk for 30 minutes and I explain this vision, and you're like, what the hell's going on? What's this guy saying? But we don't conform ever, right? Like, we present it, and if someone has conviction, like, okay, maybe you can see what they're saying. But for the most part, that's the best part, is like, we are so opinionated that we're able to kind of like bounce ideas off each other and really stress test them. Like, if I, and we honestly, a lot of things that we don't agree on, but we say, okay, if it's best for the business or best for the app, best for the users, that's what we do. At the end of the day, the most important thing is what's best for the users. Like, everything we do, that's another thing. Like, we've reached out to a lot of users, and we continue to do so on a regular basis. And we make decisions here on how to, grow this thing and scale it and build it. But everything we do now, it comes from everybody else, comes from everybody using the app. People saying, I don't get it. Like, that's helpful to us, because we say, okay, well, why doesn't this person, this profile of a person, understand the app? Why does this person love the app? What do they want to see better? Everybody who sent us feedback so far, and there have been hundreds of people that sent feedback, multiple feedback points. It's all stored on our drives, and we review it, and we try to iterate from there. So I don't know how I got from conformity to this point, but I just want to make mention of the fact that, like, the users to us is the most important, and keeping them safe and being, open to being having discourse and all that stuff, and being honest is one of the biggest things. Anyways, I'm kind of taking off a tangent here. My favorite part, and my favorite part is just building something from the ground up, and I don't know, working with you guys too is the easy answer, and getting to work with my friends, getting to come into this cool office every day, or not every day, because we're not here now. Obviously, we don't work in the office, but
Thanks a lot, COVID.
My favorite part is just really getting to shape something, and shape something that's trying to solve a problem, and that's allowing people to be themselves and be curious, I guess. I just consider myself a very curious person. I love to learn new topics, read a variety of books, ask questions. Like I love trying to understand new things and new perspectives. So creating something that I think will give me value and allow me to do that. I think there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way. I know that I'm not the only curious person in the world, and there's a lot of people out there that are curious. Giving them a place that they can be themselves, ask questions. That's maybe my favorite part. Yeah, I don't know.
Least favorite part?
There's nothing I don't like. I said, like, I was on LinkedIn, like trying to, like, even like recruiting, sending just like messages to all these people, and like, people saying, yeah, I have a job, I'm good, and like, the mundane stuff that you would think is mundane, I fucking love it. Yeah. There's really nothing I hate. The numbers. Sorry, I lied. The numbers. I hate the numbers. Were you trying to get me to say that?
No,
I
was asking. No.
I actually didn't.
The best
know.
was when you called me a couple weeks ago, and we were reviewing some numbers with the lawyers. And now recently, I've slowly taken over the numbers. And you start going off on this whole thing. You're like, what about this? I'm like, bro, just read the email I sent. Okay, blah 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 blah. I'm like, just read point.
But it was pretty much the same thing I said.
I know, and I'm just like, I literally just did this. Just read point six. Blah blah blah. I'm like, George, stop. Hang up, go read the email, and then 5 minutes later, yeah, okay, you got it. Point number 6. I'm like, okay, we're on the same page.
But the point was, like, just for the record, so no one out there doesn't think like the CEO doesn't know the number. In fact, what I said was in fact true. Yeah. I just didn't articulate it as well. Coincidentally, I'm the one with the words. But anyways, what about you? What's your favorite?
I think you guys both kind of hit my answer. I think one of the best parts about doing this is building something. Ourselves. I do think I am an entrepreneur. I do love thriving in kind of hard situations, and sometimes making hard decisions I don't love, but it fires me up and it gets me going, and doing things that I don't know if I'm 100% I can do literally get me going. Mm-hmm. So I think being able to build something with my two best friends where we're going to go and potentially change the online landscape is something that, oh my God, I don't know if we can do this, but I wake up every morning, I'm like, we're going to do this. Like 100%. We're gonna do this. And there's, every day there's new challenges that arise, and there's little wins, little losses, and we get them every single day. And that's one of the most exciting things to me. One of the hardest parts about this is that I don't know how to code. I don't know anything about the tech landscape.
That's what you got me for.
Yeah, that's why I read, and there's sometimes where like our development team people guys, holy crap, they talk, and I was like, yeah, this is why I'm not even on these calls anymore. I don't even, what? I'll stick to marketing. I'll stick to business. I'll stick to the numbers, and that's it. So that's probably the hardest part. And then again, like Dave, you said, the opinions and the personalities, the three of us. One of the best parts is that we're so opinionated. Mm-hmm. Because we have three vastly different opinions, and a lot of times we see things three completely different ways. It's not like one's on the left, one's on the right. It's like we form a triangle where none of us are seeing eye to eye. But because we're a triangle, we all are connected. We all do see eye to eye, and we meet in that perfect middle. So it can become one of the toughest parts working with you guys, but also one of the best, because if we were the same, this wouldn't be what it is right now. Mm-hmm. It would be just one person's idea, and that's it. So that's what I think. It
also helps the three of us that we're very different in our views of the world. Like we really do see the world very differently. 100% each of us. I don't think that there's many things that we see the same way. Not to say we debate everything, but we have different views, and I think that also allows us to like iterate a product. Say, okay, like I think we should add this, and then you might say, well, no, then people aren't gonna like that. And then someone else something different. Our dev team the same. Georgia provides her opinion sometimes, saying like this is not gonna it doesn't make sense to me. So it's good to have a very diverse team that can see things from different perspectives, that we can iron things out and hash them out.
I think
it's been it's crazy lately.
I think one really good thing about this is that we didn't do this years ago when we were younger. I think our level of maturity over the last couple of years and our sense of being able to be wrong, be able to listen to one another and have these open conversations have changed. Because think about George, when me and you were younger, we used to argue bad.
Yeah, we also didn't have this idea when we were that young.
No, but I mean, because of where we are now in our lives and our careers,
and more hard-headed when we were younger. Like, you wouldn't be able to see
the
other side.
And all three of us were. Yeah, we've all grown, and we're still very hard-headed. Yeah, but I think because
I love how Rick's the worst for sure. Try to tell me the last time that we were out together, I'm the worst. I'm the most hard-headed.
DB, who's more hard-headed, me or George?
I'm staying out of this.
You can cast it. It's all, I actually asked it.
Cast it after this.
I actually cast it last night.
Who's more hard-headed?
What is your worst character trait?
Oh, I'm stubborn.
Stubborn. Yeah, that's
yeah. See, I don't think I picked stubborn. I think I talk too much.
You do talk a lot. You do talk.
I would say you're stubborn.
So stubborn's that word straight?
I would say so. Yeah.
Fucking, I knew I should ask anonymously.
No, but I think that the best part about this is now that we're each at a point of our lives where we're able to do this. We're able to see other people's opinions. We're not stuck in this. We're not pigeonholing ourselves where we're stuck with this mindset that one of us individually has to be right.
I come to work every day wanting to find out how I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah. So that's
and actually, like, COVID, I think, helped with making this possible, because if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have been able to, like, do this. I wouldn't have been able to, like, join these morning calls if I'm in the office. Like, my boss would be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, now that I'm at home, like, I'm able to juggle both without, you know, without having to come out and say, okay, I'm working on something else. At which point I think they would fire me. Hopefully my boss doesn't come across this thing. But yeah, and then it comes to the financial part as well. Like, I think we've all saved a lot of money not going on extravagant trips over COVID.
Yeah,
and we're able to fund this thing ourselves. So very, very fortunate for COVID for that purpose. I mean, it's changed our lives, but it's also allowed us to get to this point.
Yeah. I honestly think, like, back to your point earlier, I actually think it has changed. This whole process changed my life significantly. I think it's showed me what really goes into, like, even though I have the, you know, the entrepreneur background, I've run the kind of the family business, you know, alongside like my brother, my siblings, and all that stuff, or my sister and all that for the last couple of years. It's nothing, like, not even close to the same. Like, I always said I would, like, you know, my dad come in, like, over as an immigrant, building a company from the ground up. I thought I would never have to do that. Like, he always said, you know, you're fortunate. You're never gonna have to start from the bottom at ground zero. And yes, not saying the position that I'm in now is the same as when he came here with nothing, as he says, like 10 cents to his name. But getting to start from the ground floor and just, like, have a vision and just slowly put brick by brick by brick into the house, into the foundation, and build it up is one of the coolest things that I've ever done. Like, I really think that this is the most fun thing I've ever done in my life, honestly. And I feel like I've done some fun stuff in my life. This is the most fun. I've never been so excited. I go to bed, I just think about cast. I wake up, I think about cast. I working out yesterday, I was like, okay, working out in between, like, how can I tweak this? How can I fix that? Honestly, it consumes every thought in my head.
I think I was saying to you today, like, sometimes I just get lost in my head, like, just thinking about the potential and where we can go. And, you know, right now we have a small team, but as we grow, we can build more and more and more. Like, I think that's the only thing that's stopping us from like, you know, like,
really
a
scaling.
full on sprint right now is just we have a small team right now. Like, as we start getting more manpower, there's so many different ways we can take this thing, and, like, you know, as you guys both know,
which will be to be seen.
Yeah. That being said, if you know anybody in the tech space looking for a job, we are hiring
Back end engineer ASAP.
Just put them in touch, even if they're not back end. Just put us in touch.
Yeah, honestly, anybody in the tech space,
Yeah.
listen to this. If you want to reach out. We're always looking for new people. I'm always looking to have conversations. I talk to like 5 people a day at least, for various different positions, and yeah, for sure. It's been crazy, man. I even now, like, I'm getting lost in my thoughts because I just want to go back to work and keep, like, building this stuff. But it's been really cool. I think that, to me, you know, I just want to. I mean, I think I speak for all of us. Just to build something to change the world for the better. You know, just giving more people a voice, letting more people participate in the conversation, and just giving honest, objective data, like honest, objective facts, and let people formulate their own view of the world based on that. I honestly cannot stress enough how tired I am of the news. I know I say this a lot. You guys must get tired of hearing this, but I actually don't watch the news. I don't, because I'm so tired of seeing one channel say one thing, another channel say another thing. Like, everybody has a different agenda, different narrative. Like, even going to politics, like, whenever an election is happening, Canada, the US, anywhere, how does one channel say this guy has 80% and the other channel says this woman has 80%? That doesn't make 100%. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, to Rick's point, when they said that article said the vast majority of Canadians agree with this, and it was 86% agree with tighter restrictions around traveling, and this is about the flying to sun destinations. The 1,500 people polled represents 0.004% of Canada's population. Now, I'm not an expert with the numbers or the random sample sizes and the margin for errors, but to me, 0.004% does not seem like a thorough representation of the population. Just my thoughts, because I don't know, like, what is the majority makeup of Canada's population? I honestly don't know this, but I'm saying, is 86% over the age of 60 or over the age of 40 for that matter, because my inclination is that anybody between the age of 18 to 35 probably is not too worried about these travel restrictions. That's a guess. We can cast it and find out. So, when you see 86%, wow, these people are really certain. Well, how can they be that certain? How do that many people believe this one thing? And honestly, that's what I'm really excited to solve. Like just bringing up like the transparency, objectivity, and factual data back to like what the media landscape, bring integrity back to it. Yeah.
I think that's a good note to start to.
Wow, not bad.
Yeah, we're on the hour mark.
Was there anything else? I was trying to think of anything else. I might my mind is going a mile a minute right now, but yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm fired up
keep
about this.
doing these updates throughout kind of the journey of Cast, because obviously Pals and Cast they're not connected, but 2 out of the 3 founders of Cast are also 2 of the 2 founders of the podcast. So basically, when me and George do get together, we end up talking about Cast lot and Pals.
And the other guy's just a super fan.
Yeah, DB's just
a super fan.
Our first fourth timer.
4 times I've been on this thing. You gonna start paying me for this?
DB's gonna start asking for a cut of this, buddy. You gotta. This podcast costs money.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you want in on this? You gotta pay.
No. For that reason, I am out.
Yeah.
One last thing I have to ask: what's been the most surprising thing so far about Cast? About anything, the process, the app, what?
Just what it takes to build a business. Like I've never been privy to this side of it. Like I was saying earlier, it's just there's so much that goes into it. Like I'm like middle management at my job. Like I hire people. Like I've been in the interviewing process, stuff like that. But when it comes to like building investor decks and doing like all the taxes and the financials and stuff like that, like I had no privy to that whatsoever in my jobs. So that like just the sheer amount of work that it takes, it's that's the most surprising, and it's fun. It's like I'm learning so much from this, right? And it's not something that I probably would have ever learned in my life had it not been for this. So it's something I can really appreciate and respect.
For me, I would say the overwhelmingly positive support and feedback we've received. Obviously, we were all passionate. We knew we were onto something when we started building this, and we had a feeling that we would get positive feedback. But I think, honestly, 98% of our feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. Not just, oh, cool app, thanks. It's like, no, I message people. I spend days, hours messaging people, and I get full almost reports on, hey, here's the things I love. Oh, maybe this is something I'd do differently. But it's such overwhelmingly
amazing,
positive support and feedback from our close friends and family. And now as we kind of even extend it to past our close friends and family, people that I are more of acquaintances than friends have been reaching out and providing feedback. And that's been such a, I don't want to say surprising, because I in our heads, we knew that we were going to receive stuff like this, but to see it and to get that,
it's an amazing feeling for sure. Because like they're taking their time not only to go download, get on the app, use it, but also to sit there and start typing out what they truly feel about it and what they think they'd like to see and what they think would make it better, and like all the feedback. Like some of the feedback is like it's like an essay they're giving to us.
And
so
like even people
they're taking their time out of their busy day to do this for us, and it's appreciated.
Yeah, and like here's a good example from someone we don't even know. And they said, I think right now with so much TikTok videos and mindless information circulating on Instagram, this app is a nice change to get people engaged. And that this person's taking time away from Instagram and TikTok, which are arguably 2 of the biggest apps.
The biggest social media apps.
Yeah.
The 2 biggest. They're taking time out of their day to use our app instead of theirs, when I don't even know this person, right? We don't know a lot of these people or we don't really know them. Sorry. So I think that for me is one
to the point as well, just before, because I have something that I think is surprising. To be clear as well, it's not. We're saying it's overwhelmingly positive. The one thing that I don't like, we don't have tech back. Or again, speaking for myself and Rick, but the one thing that I've done, try to do a very good job of like through this whole process is just like listening to as many podcasts, reading as much as I can about the fallacies of the tech of building an app and where people fail. And we've become very aware that just asking for good feedback is a good way to like to build a bad product, because people are going to tell you what you want to hear. So to be clear, we're not saying this because that's all we ask for. We don't look for confirmation bias. I've actually made a point that like to a point we all call each other out when there's confirmation bias. We actually ask users, hey, can you tell us something bad? Like I honest to God, I actually message people and I say, can you tell me one thing that you love, one thing that you hate? And I use the word hate, and one thing you would like to see. And like people will sometimes glance over the hate, and I'll say, hey, I really need to know something you dislike. And oftentimes it's really hard to pull something substantial out, which, we're not at mass scale. We have, tens of millions on yet. And I say yet because we will be there, but yet in the sense of like, it's a smaller sample size, but we try to ask a diverse group, and we try to say, hey, tell us what you don't like. And honestly, it seems like people like, it seems hard to pull something out, which is great, but that also doesn't mean that we're going to get complacent, because we know that we have to keep evolving. It's not perfect to us. We want to keep getting better and better and iterating. But to kind of wrap up, the thing I found most surprising, and this is not a slight at anybody or any preconceived notions, but I'm surprised that our most active users seem to be more female than male. And why I say it's surprising is because in my head, when this app process started, I thought, sports is such a hot, like a thing that guys love to debate.
Exactly
not guys, but just people like to debate sports, politics, that kind of stuff. I think those are two very big topics, polarizing topics. Honestly, I feel like the most active users are female, which is amazing. I love that. I just, as a guy, I don't necessarily know as well, like what women today like to watch or shows, or what they like to debate, or what types of political related topics they like I just don't see it from their perspective naturally. So to see that to me is so awesome, so surprising. I opened the app and I was like, wow, like when Mila posts something, Vanessa, when Becca, Monica, whoever, like I see that and I'm like, I never would have thought this. Like I never would have thought to ask this question.
Yeah, and that was honestly my biggest concern going into this. Like obviously, if you have been on the app, you see that I created hundreds and hundreds of questions, and I was always very, very conscious of, okay, you know what? A lot of these questions are stuff that I like myself. Rap music, sports, R&B, whatever the hell it may be.
Slow jam.
I love me a slow jam, some Boys and Men, some of that new edition. I was always conscious of like, okay, I know that I'm going to like this, but what are other people going to like? And like, what do I have to get done for questions for women in particular? And you know what? Like, I didn't really have to even go that far, because once we get the women on there, they just start rifling off questions immediately. And it was amazing to see, because I was so concerned about it. And how are we going to get women to enjoy this app and take part in it? And, it seems to have just worked out in itself. But at the same time, we got to keep going, keep pumping stuff out, keep making it better. And we're well on our way to that. We have tons and tons of stuff coming down the pipeline in terms of additions, improvements, new features. It's really fun. It's really fun to think about.
Yeah, it's honestly really cool. Just so many things that I can't there's a lot more surprises, things that I just didn't expect, and it's really, really cool. I think that's probably a good point. But yeah, honestly, guys, just grateful to, first of all, thanks for listening this far. But just so grateful for everyone who's been on the app. We think that we've created something that will help solve a problem that exists in the world. We think that we're very confident that it's something that people want and need, especially in today's society, in the way that the direction of the discourse, if you will, is moving. It seems to be getting a little bit unhealthier. We want to try and remedy that. And for those of you who listen who aren't on the app, if you want to get on, we're still in closed beta. We will be moving over to an open beta type phase pretty soon. But if you do want to get on, we're happy to get anybody else on. Drop us a DM. Go to our website, email us, whatever. You can reach us almost anywhere. But yeah, the best way to get a hold of us is at Wootsalis.
At your pal Rick.
DBZ.
That was like 3 E's and 2 Z's.
I can't even remember.
Just don't worry. Just message me and George.
Don't even worry about me. You don't want to follow me. I'm a weirdo.
Anyways, it's been a fun journey so far. We're just getting started. We're not even at the start line yet. Start line's coming up soon.
We're walking up to it.
Yeah, we're doing our stretch right now. We're stretching our legs out. You know, having a little bit of fettuccine Alfredo before the race.
All right.
Love the Office.
Now we're
show out
talking.
there.
Now we're talking.
Hey, question: is The Office still on Netflix? I think I saw it on Netflix. I thought it was supposed to be off already.
I thought it was supposed to be off in the middle of January.
I thought I saw it. Anyways,
I haven't watched TV in a little while. Actually, no, I watched Succession randomly.
oh, great
It is
show!
good.
Have you seen the whole thing?
No, not yet.
I might start it again.
I'm on halfway through season 2, I think.
It's good, eh?
It is good.
I haven't
Who's your
watched
favorite?
it.
Wait, who's your favorite character?
I honestly dislike everybody except
Really?
Greg.
No spoilers.
Everyone
here.
likes cousin Greg.
Yeah, he's a little
He's
weirdo.
so weird.
Or yeah, no, honestly, there's sometimes you start to like a character and then you're like, I can't believe I like this guy or girl.
I honestly, what's his name? Kendall
Kendall?
Roy.
Oh no.
I love Who's Macaulay Culkin? Not Macaulay.
The Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Yeah. He's odd. I can't wait for the new season. Anyway, Roman. It's a sick name.
He's
though.
a weirdo.
Rome.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's it.
Cousin Greg. I can't wait to see it. He's in the Wealth Simple commercials. I think.
Is he?
He's in some commercials. Yeah. Anyways, let's wrap this up.
Signing off, pals.
See ya.
Cheers.
Peace.